reports yesterday are basically if Harbaugh gets offered a coaching job at the NFL, he's going to take it. And that he's had a conversation with David Tepper at Carolina. It was not a formal interview, but a conversation. And one would imagine, I don't know how this qualifies with a Rooney Rule, but one would imagine that David Tepper basically wanted to say, hey, are you serious about coming back to the NFL? Because if so, we'll give you the job. That's what I would imagine this is. Gauge Jim Harbaugh's seriousness in coming back. See what's truth and what's fiction. And David Tepper paid $2 billion or $3 billion for the Carolina Panthers and has gotten very little out of his investment. He's one of these hedge fund billionaires, and my guess is he wants winning, and he wants attention, and he wants success, and he wants a star, and he didn't get it in Matt Rule, and he wants it twice as much as he did a couple of years ago when he hired Rule. Maybe David Tepper should come out to the Bob's Bar show and see a sad Matt Rule parking cars. But for Harbaugh, I'll say this. Who knows what's in his heart? Who knows if he's chomping at the bit to get out? He wants to go back to the NFL and has felt like he has hit his ceiling in Michigan, or he's using this stuff as leverage, which was very useful to him last year in flirting with the NFL and then ultimately returning and getting a better contract in Michigan. But I would say the Carolina job might be his best opportunity this offseason in the NFL. Doesn't necessarily have a starting quarterback. Maybe Sam Darnold's the guy, maybe not. I don't think there's any guarantee there. The Panthers won't have one of those top 5 picks to lock in and guarantee one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. But if you look at what the potential is for the Panthers, what they already have there, and the division, Brady's going to leave Tampa Bay in the offseason. Whether he plays again at 46 or not, he's leaving. So the Buccaneers have to completely reboot. Is it Blaine Gabbert? Is it somebody else? They've got Todd Bowles at the helm. You see what this team looks like over the course of this season, even with Tom Brady. I would think the moment Brady leaves, the Buccaneers automatically become one of the worst teams in football. The Atlanta Falcons, maybe it's Desmond Ridder, maybe it's Arthur Smith, maybe it's one of the two, maybe it's neither. Nothing would surprise you going into next year with Atlanta if you said, well, that team's going to end up being a 4-13 team. Ridder's not going to be the starting quarterback. You know, Arthur Smith is going to get the zig this offseason. Anything is on the table, so you're not worried about them. And the New Orleans Saints are also spinning their wheels. Is it Andy Dalton's team? Is it Jameis Winston's team? Is it Dennis Allen's team? Are they going to get better? Again, none of these teams are in the top 5 for one of these draft picks of the quarterbacks, so there's no quick fix for them. The division is wide open, and the Panthers actually played decent football. Not great, but decent football under Steve Wilks. I think Wilks should get a significant look at this job, but considering what he got out of this team even after they traded away Christian McCaffrey, you could do worse than the Panthers job. Plus a billionaire who's paying you in a division that's winnable and a roster that was, middle of the road, not a terrible roster this year. Not bad. You could do worse than that because the other situations, Indianapolis, in a division with Trevor Lawrence, with an ascending Jacksonville Jaguars team, and not that they're any good right now, but the Texans will have the number 1 pick in the draft. So if they hit on the quarterback, that should be a really good young quarterback for the Texans. Also, is the Colts job a good job? I mean, we've thought that the roster was better than they've performed the last couple of years. Irsay is hiring Jeff Saturday for jobs, is it a good job? And then, what are some of the other potential offerings out there? The Broncos? Well, now you're dealing in a division with both Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, and a Chiefs team that doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and a Chargers team that should remain good. Now, who knows about L.A., but, do you want to bang your head against the Chiefs twice a year every year? The Panthers' job is actually a pretty enticing job. So if Harbaugh was going to leave, I think that's one that you should significantly think about if you're Harbaugh.